All right, so in this video, we are going to be doing the worksheet in two-point perspective. And we're going to start with what is called the horizon line. And the horizon line is where sky and land meet. So I'm going to go ahead and do this on in the paint program here. Now your horizon line should be somewhere in the middle of the paper. It doesn't have to be exact. But you want to make sure that it is in the general area of the middle of the paper. So I put my paper in, or excuse me, my horizon line in dark gray, but I'm going to now go ahead and put two vanishing points. When you put your vanishing points on the edge of your paper, I would suggest that you do just that, like on the very edge, so you give yourself plenty of room. They need to be big enough for you to see them, but they don't need to be like gigantic pea-sized dots. So it's kind of hard to do dots with this pencil tool. So one of the things I want to mention too is when you're watching this video, you want to do your very best to make sure that you're paying attention. So I would put your pencil down, your ruler, anything else, and then make sure that you are watching, and then the video can be stopped so that you can kind of catch up with it. So whether it be me or someone else stopping the video, or even you if you're doing this at home, watch a few steps and then we'll stop and you can, go ahead and catch up. So we're on step number 1 here. We already have the horizon line and we have the two vanishing points. So I'm going to go ahead and start with my first vertical. In two-point perspective, all of the lines besides the horizon line, all of the lines are going to be vertical, which is straight up and down. Oops, that would be this way. Or they're going to be going to the vanishing point. So they'll angle straight to the vanishing point. So this is going to be the corner of our first building, and I'm going to go ahead and just draw a pretty bold, big line that will be the corner of our first building. Okay, so in this, that is the completion of step number 1, and I'm going to say let's get through step number 3, and then that would be a good time for you to stop the video. So step number 2 shows us that now we're going to go from this vertical and we are going to connect it to the left-hand vanishing point from the top and the bottom. And we are now also going to go to the, oops, my tool here is being a little goofy. We're now also going to go to the right-hand vanishing point. So I'm going to go from the bottom to the right-hand vanishing point and the top to the right-hand vanishing point. All right, we're not to step 3 yet. This is number 2. So the other thing I need to mention before I move on is please make sure that you are actually using a straight edge. Some people have very straight hands or very, steady hands. They can do it, but for the most part, you're going to have a more accurate drawing if you're using a straight edge. So step number 3 here tells us we are going to draw the left side and the right side by just drawing a vertical line that goes straight down like that. That's the left side, and a vertical line going straight down for the right side. Okay, and that is step number 3. So that would be a good place to stop the video and catch up. This is building A. All right, so building B, we have in step number 4 is actually going to be right over here by building A on the right side. So if we just draw a vertical line going straight down, we have completed our second building. And so basically these two buildings are just right next to each other. There's no space in between them, no alley or anything. They are actually what we called adjacent. They are just touching, okay? So that is building B. Building C, we're going to draw over here on the left side, and building C is going to be just a little bit shorter than building A. So I'm going to go ahead and start over here and draw a vertical. And again, you can see that it is shorter. This vertical stops right here, which tells us it is lower level. Okay, so then we are going to connect, we're going to make the top of this. And remember what I said? Every line has to go to the vanishing point or it's straight up and down vertical. So we are now going to draw a line from the vanishing point touching that vertical line, and it hits building A, okay? Because building A and building C, what I just drew, are again, they're adjacent. They are basically touching. There's no space in between them, but it is shorter. So that's building C. All right, so that gives us step number 4. In between 4 and 5, I skipped a little part here, so I'm going to go ahead and show you. That is basically, we're just going to clean up this little line area right here. And I actually call that construction line because we used it to make the building, but we no longer need it. So you will want to erase that extra line area that goes to the vanishing point, just like that. All right, so now we are currently on step number, did we have, I might be off on my steps here. So we're actually on step number 7, this one right here. And the difference between step number 6 and number 7 is you can see there is an extra line over here because we're going to start with, we got building A, B, C. We're now going to do building D over here. So with building D, and if you haven't stopped the video to catch up, this would be a good time. Okay, so getting back to building number 7. Building D over here, we're going to start by drawing a line on the right side, and I'm just going to go straight down like this. Okay. I'm looking at my steps here just to make sure. Yep, so okay, so number 8 shows an additional lines. And if I count over here, I'm going to just make sure there's 1, 2, 3, 4. That does not count the very corner of building A. So there's the corner. So that 1, 2, 3. I need one more line right here. Now, what's going to happen on this next building is we're actually now going to have some space in between the two buildings. So basically, you know, like this, we're going to separate them so there would be an alleyway in between them. So this is going to be the right side of this building, which means the left side is going to be over here, but we're going to erase this line that went to the right-hand vanishing point. So people, if you are confused, I'm going to clear something up here. We're going to say this is building A, right? This is building B. Okay. This is building C, the shorter one. And we are currently now on building D. Okay. We don't have building D done yet. So with building D, we have the right side of it. Now we have to draw the left side. And remember, there's going to be some space in between building B and D. So what we'll do, and I'm going to do this in blue first because I want you to be able to see what we draw and then what we erase. So I'm going to take the line from the top of building D. I'm going to line up my ruler to the left-hand vanishing point all the way over here, okay? And I'm going to draw the top of it. Now, I don't have to keep all of that line, or you could actually just say I'm not going to draw it all the way, because what I want to do, oops, let me try that again. All right, what I want is I'm actually just going to draw this much of it and keep this much of it right here. I did that in black. So we would then erase, or in the beginning, you could just maybe say, I'm not going to draw all the way to the vanishing point. But it is really, really important that that line, or excuse me, that your straight edge lines up with the left-hand vanishing point. Because you got to make sure that top of the building goes to the left-hand vanishing point. Okay, so that's the top of the building. The bottom of the building, same thing, is going to go from the bottom of building A, excuse me, bottom of building D to the left-hand vanishing point. So we'll go from here to there. Okay? All right. I'm just going to put that in black and I'm going to erase all this extra stuff. All right, and again, this is a good spot to stop the video. All right, so we just made it all the way through. We are done here and we are done here. We're actually on this step right here, number 11. So let's go ahead and do 12. If this is a good time to say we're done for the day, that's fine. You may do that also, but I'm going to go ahead and do step number 12. We made some good progress. All right, so step number 12 is actually showing a window on the top left side of building A. And let me get to my correct tool here. Okay, so windows and doors are very, very easy. They're vertical and they go to a vanishing point. If it is on the left side of the building like this one, we start with a vertical line, okay? And then from that vertical, we're going to go to the left-hand vanishing point. So you'd line up your ruler, go to the left-hand vanishing point, and we would do the same thing on the bottom of this. We'd go to the left-hand vanishing point, and then we would draw a vertical line going down to finish the window. Okay, and again, I have a lot of construction lines here because I drew it all the way to the vanishing point, which is not a problem. I just have to make sure I clean up every once in a while. So I would erase, erase, erase. And that is a simple window that is above the horizon line on the left side. And that actually takes us all the way through step number, that's actually through step number 13. Step number 14, we are going to go ahead and do a door now on the same side as the window we just put in. So to do a door, we are simply going to go down here. Now it's got to be close to where ground level would be. So we'll draw a vertical line going straight down. It's a little bit bigger than my window because that only makes sense. From this vertical, we are then going to go to the left-hand vanishing point. If you're getting confusing, I'm going to put this in blue for just a moment. Okay, and then we will stop that door with another vertical line over here. Let me see if I can make sure I'm on my tools. There we go. So I will draw a vertical line going down. And with a little cleanup, there is the door. And this is usually where we say, okay, we're done with day one of our buildings. So I'm going to hope that you get to this spot. If you didn't, then we'll pick up on that. Otherwise, I'm going to say this is the end of video 1 for making our city.